Yeah, hello and welcome to lesson 1.3. We're going to talk about volume, capacity, and calculating that kind of stuff. All right, so we're going to talk about what volume is, the SI volumes for the SI units for volume, calculating the volume of rectangular prisms. Then we're going to do some converting of SI units of volume, review what capacity means. Actually, we're going to stop at number 4. 5 and on will be the next lesson. All right, your first task is to find some of those little link cube blocks. You know, the ones that are, well, they're like a cube, and they got like little holes on most of the sides, and then one side will have them sticking out. Anyway, if you have any questions on what those are, you ask me, okay? You're gonna need 24 of them. All right, so you're gonna make a prism using 24 blocks. And then you're gonna tell me what are the dimensions, what are the length, width, and height, and what's the number when you multiply these together. All right? Now, once you have that done, you're going to fill out one line of this chart. All right, you're going to draw me a picture of what your prism looks like, tell me the dimensions, tell me what the numbers are multiplied together, and then tell me what the volume is. All right, so pause it, the video that is, and go find some blocks and build a prism. All right, so you may have built one of many different prisms. So I'm just going to show you a few possibilities. So this is one you could have built. All right. Now, as you can see, has a, let's call this side length, the front. 1, 2, 3, a length of 4, a width of 2, and a height of 3. When you multiply these two together, 4 times 2 is 8 times 3, that is 24. So what's the volume? 24. Yay. All right. That's just one possibility. Another possibility. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Now, you're supposed to imagine that each one of these are perfect cubes. Now, you could sit there and count them, but I'm telling you, there is 24 of those there, all right? So the length is 24. The width is just 1. And the height is just 1. 24 times 1, well, that's 24. Times 1, well, that's still 24. What's the volume? 24. Starting to see a pattern here? And one more. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. By width is 2. By height is 2. So you times those numbers together. 6 times 2 is 12. Times 2 is 24. So our volume is 24. All right, and then you have yours as well. Now, if you have one that I don't have, excellent. Now, if you have one of the same as me, your job is to build another one that fits in this last spot. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and build me one more if you have to. If you don't need to, let's keep trucking. Okay. So we were talking about volume. All right, so volume, a measurement of how many cubic units into which an object or space may be divided. For example, if your living room is 5 meters long by 3 meters wide by 3 meters high, its volume is 3 meters by 3 or 5 meters by 3 meters by 3 meters equals 45 meters cubed. That little 3 there, that means cubed. A prism, in geometry, a 3D object that has two congruent and parallel faces, the top and the bottom, call those bases, and lateral faces that are parallelograms. Such a 3D object is also known as a rectangular box. It looks like a box. The following 3D object is known in geometry as a prism. So a box, prism, same thing. Volume is how many cubes you can split up a box into, or any 3D shape. All right? So for a rectangular prism, That's the nicest of all shapes. You multiply the length times the width times the height. Now, there's one thing I don't have on here that you have to write down. They have to be, sorry, that's terrible penmanship, in the same unit. All right? These formulas don't work if this is in meters, this is in inches, and this is in miles. They don't work that way. They all have to be the same unit. Now let's do a couple examples of using these. Oh, sorry, before that. Units for volume, right? And we're talking SI units. Système International. So, we measure them in, we said, cubes. So we can measure them in things like centimeters cubed or meters. Sorry, that's terrible, M. Meters cubed or, I don't know, kilometers cubed or, oh, let's go little. About millimeters cubed. Now, notice something they all have in common. That little 3. The 3. So I'm just going to rewrite centimeters cubed. The 3 means cubed. Alright, so what that means is it's telling you how big the cube is. This means a cube with side length of 1 centimeter. Alright, so if I was to build a little guy like this, it would be a cube, and each side is 1 centimeter. That's 1 centimeter, that's 1 centimeter, and that's 1 centimeter. Alright, so that's what each thing means. Now if it was a meter cubed, all the sides would be 1 meter. Alright, let's do an example. What is the volume in meters cubed of a rectangular box 60 centimeters long, 50 centimeters wide, and 40 centimeters high? Now, first thing I like to do, pardon me, whenever I have a question, is I like to draw a picture. Alright. So, I have a rectangular box. Something like that. I believe that's perfect, like all my drawings. That is 60 centimeters long by 50 centimeters wide by 40 centimeters high. I wanted my volume in meters cubed. Now, I can do this 2 different ways. First, all right, option 1. We can figure out the volume first, and then change it to meters cubed. Option 2 is we can change all the measurements into meters and then figure out the volume. So let's do option 1 first. Option 1. All right, let's figure out the volume first. Volume is length times width times height. So I'm just going to sub in stuff into my formula. My length was 60. My width, that was 50. And my height, that was 40. So I want to punch that into my calculator. 60 times 50 times 40. All right, or you can try doing that in your head first. It's going to be a big number. Is 120. 1, 2, 3, 3 zeros. 120,000 centimeters cubed. Now that's not my answer yet. That's in centimeters cubed. I want it in meters cubed. All right. So just like changing or converting any unit, we can convert this 120,000 centimeters cubed into meters cubed using a skeleton equation, just like we did for the last few videos. All right, the first number, that's from our question. That's this 120,000. 1, 2, 3. That's in centimeters cubed. Now, our second number, that's from our formula. Now, if you look on your formula sheet somewhere, you should find somewhere that says 1 meter cubed equals 1,000,000 centimeters cubed. All right. Now the reason that is, this will be a cube that is 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, or 100 centimeters by 100 centimeters by 100 centimeters. 100 times 100 times 100, that's a million. All right, so that number goes in our second blank. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. Now we're trying to change that into meters. Cubed, that is. All right, so a meter cube is bigger than a centimeter cubed. So that means our number will be getting smaller, or we're dividing. All right, there's 6 zeros, so we're going to move the decimal 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's going to give us 0.12. If you don't believe me, we'll take that number divided by 1 million. 0.12. All right, now I said there was another way. So I am just going to make sure I have this written down, or pause it, because I'm going to erase everything. And you know what, I'm going to even switch colors. Let's switch to purple. All right. Option 2. Let's change these 3 numbers into meters. All right. So now the first one I'm going to do with a skeleton equation, okay? And the other ones I'm going to cut some corners. All right. So I'm going to do, let's do the length first, 60. Okay. So that is from our question, and I'm changing it into meters. So on your formula sheet somewhere, you need something with centimeters and meters, or if you haven't memorized, even better. So you'll see that 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. All right, so 100, that's in our second blank. Now, this is in centimeters. We're changing into meters. I'm changing into a bigger unit, so I'm going to divide. All right, since a meter is bigger than a centimeter, changing into the bigger one, so I'm going to divide. Now 60 divided by 100 is 0.6. If you did that one in your head, good. All right, so I'm going to cross this out. It's still 60 centimeters, but we're not using that. We're going to use 0.6 meters. All right, so the next one, for the 50 centimeters there, so all my units are the same. So my equation is the same. I'm just using a different starting number, okay? So 50 divided by 100, 0.5 meters. If you don't believe me, 50 divided by 100, 0.5. And for our last one, 40 divided by 100 equals 0.4. So now we can figure out our volume. We have everything in the unit that we wanted in. All right, so our volume was length times width times height. So our length is 0.6 times our width is 0.5 times our height is 0.4. Multiply all those together, and you should get the same answer. 0.6 times 0.5 times 0.4. Oh, looky there. 0.12 meters cubed. Same answer, 2 different ways. So do the one you like. All right, one last example. Convert 0.12 meters cubed to cubic centimeters. Son of a gun, we actually did this by accident on the previous example. But let's do it again. All right, so if I have, well, let's just convert this like any other conversion question. Skeleton equation. All right, so meters cubed from our question. That goes in the first one. 0.12 meters cubed. Our second one, that is from our formula sheet. I said on the last slide, that 1 meter cubed equals 1 million. Yep, 6 zeros. Centimeters cubed. Alright, so we're trying to change into centimeters here. Cubed. And we're starting with meters cubed. There's our formula. It goes in the second blank. I'll try to fit it. Hopefully you wrote your second blank bigger than I did. Alright, so now I'm changing into a smaller unit. Meter cube big, centimeter cube little. So I'm changing into the smaller one, which means I'm going to multiply. Alright, 0.12 times 1 million. 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 zeros. Alright, that's going to give me, just like we had in the last question, 120,000 centimeters cubed. Alright, that's our answer. Alright, so now I believe I have some practice questions for you. Do these, check your answers, and ask me if you have questions. Thanks.